Hello, everybody. I am Jake, aka Bomber, and we are here to talk about Tournament of Death 20, CZW's Combat Zone Wrestling's Tournament of Death 20 is returning on September 23rd. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down all 4 first round matches. We're going to predict who's going to win, who's going to move on to the second round, and then we're going to do the very hard and difficult who is going to face each other in the second round, and then somehow try to figure out who is going to be in the finals, who is going to win in the finals. We're going to break down the whole tournament. Let's go right now. Let's get into it. And why don't we just start where we finished last year? Bobby Beverly versus Mickie Knuckles in the finals of TOD 19, now facing each other in the first round of TOD 20. That's kind of a big deal. Obviously, Bobby Beverly won the tournament last year, but I got some bad news for you, Bobby, and all you Bobby Beverly fans out there. Me included, by the way, me included. Only one person in Tournament of Death history has won back-to-back years in the tournament. I'm talking all the way back to TOD 10 and TOD 11. Masada did it. He's the only one. Yeah, Wife Beater, he won multiple tournaments. Danny Havoc won multiple tournaments, but only one person has won back-to-back years. So Bobby Beverly, I love you, buddy, but that's a tall task. So when you're making these predictions, is the ultra-violent enforcer going to go back-to-back years? I don't think so. Now you can bet your ass I would love to see that, but we got Mickie Knuckles taking him on in round number 1. If you did see my video last year when I predicted TOD, I was very pumped for Mickie Knuckles in TOD 19, making her second TOD. Now this year it's going to be your third. I thought she should have won. She was one of my predictions to win. I had a couple multiple things. Not doing that this year. I'm giving just one person this year. I thought she was one of the few people that should have won last year. I thought it would have been a really big deal. CZW coming in, having one of the first women to come in into a usually men-dominated tournament and win the whole thing. This year, kind of GCW took that spotlight with Rina Yamashita taking the TOS win, but you know what? We're not here to talk about all that. We're here to talk about Mickie Knuckles, and can she do that? Well, the answer is obviously yes. Yes, Mickie Knuckles is fully capable of doing that, but will she? Man, of all of the first round matches, of all of the second and finals matches, this is easily the hardest match for me to predict. That's why I wanted to get in here and do it first. Now, I hope we don't have any scary moments, because obviously last year in the finals, Mickie took that humongous bump off the scaffold onto the exposed boards. Very scary stuff. She was not all there, it looked like. But thankfully, she was okay. Thankfully, she's been competing perfectly fine ever since. As much as I want Mickie to win again, I think this is going to be an early exit, because I think it'll be more of a disappointment if last year's winner loses in the first round as opposed to Mickie Knuckles, who, I mean, again, both of these people, I love them to death. I wish they could both advance, but that's not what we're here to do. We're here to predict winners here, and I am going to give Bobby Beverly the win in round number 1. I kind of spoiled some of the later stuff, but I don't think he's going to win the tournament. But right here, I do think Bobby Beverly will win round number 1, a little rematch here against Mickie Knuckles. Very excited for that match, but this next match right here, right now, Orin Veidt versus Kid Bandit. First up, Orin Veidt, if you've watched any of my videos here on the channel, you know he is one of my favorites right now in the deathmatch scene. Very cool stuff. He's already competed in, Insane 8 this year, and he's in Circle 6's Sickest of the Six, 2 really brutal matches in that tournament. And he made it to the finals of Insane 8. Now coming back-to-back years here for TOD. He lost last year to Mickie Knuckles in the first round. Is he going to get past that first round here? His opponent is going to be Kid Bandit, who joins the very small, very elite class of wrestlers who have competed in both Best of the Best for CZW as well as Tournament of Death. Usually not even in the same year. Kid Bandit is going to do that in this same year, 2023. Now, yes, she did lose in the first round of Best of the Best, but are we going to have that same fate here? Orin Veidt and Kid Bandit. Now, when you look at the styles between these two, I think we are in for a very exciting death match. I haven't seen a whole lot of death match experience from Kid Bandit. I know she's dabbled in it a little bit. I did see that Crimson Crown match against Sage Sin Supreme last month. That was a good match. So we're going to see look, that's not Tournament of Death. Those are some death matches. You got some death match experience with Kid Bandit here. But when you throw in Tournament of Death with a wrestler that is not most well known for deathmatch wrestling, you're going to see how they prove themselves. CZW has been letting people prove themselves for a very long time, especially with TODs, Cage of Death matches, Shane Strickland, AR Fox, Ruckus, Alex Colon, by the way. It's weird to think about now, like, man, Alex Colon, he's just such a great deathmatch wrestler. Very true, but guess what? One of his first deathmatch tournaments was in CZW. I mean, now he's won everywhere and he's won almost every tournament he's been in. But look, CZW is known for giving people the platform to go out there and show what they can do in the deathmatch world. And that is what I expect Kid Bandit to do here in this first round match. Now, hold on. I didn't say anything about winning, okay? I think Kid Bandit is going to come out, put on a fantastic match. Orin Veidt seems to be like the perfect opponent. I am going to be a little biased. I want to see an assault driver. I think it would be very cool for the assault driver to return to TOD. I don't want to, force that out there into the world, but I'm going to have to do it. Look, I'm not saying we get a U-Haul truck involved, okay? I just want to see an assault driver at TOD again. It's been 20 years, okay? Bring the nostalgia in just a little bit. That's all I'm asking for. So yeah, as much as I think Kid Bandit's going to come out here and prove herself, I think I'm still going to give the win to Orin Veidt. He's going to get his first TOD win of his career. Both of these competitors, this is the big platform in the deathmatch scene. So I'm excited. Speaking of excited, we have the rematch between Judge Joe Dred and Big Effin' Joe. I know what you're saying. Oh, wait, what do you mean rematch? These guys never fought each other in CZW. This is Judge Joe Dred's CZW debut. Yeah, it is. I watch a lot of deathmatch wrestling. Okay, no surprise there if you looked at the channel. These guys put on a crazy match in XPW. I know that's a no word when it comes to CZW content, so I'm going to keep that at a minimum as much as I can at least. And I picked it as one of the top 5 must-see matches in the month of June of this year. Go back and watch it if you haven't already. These guys went out there, absolutely killed each other. Blood pouring down the back of Dred. One of his big come-up moments here in the scene. And you know what? Ever since that, he's been put in deathmatch tournaments all over the place, including here at Tournament of Death. But in that match, nobody was pinned. Nobody was submitted. There was a referee stoppage. So what's going to happen here at TOD? I mean, I'm sure Joe is a little greedy. He has won the TNT DOA tournament already this year. Deathmatch tournament in UK, if you don't know what that is. So he already has one deathmatch tournament win under his belt this year. He could be happy enough with that, but I don't think that's going to be the case. He's going to be bringing his whitey tighties to the ring to put another beatdown on Joe Dred. I know they both like to jaw jack. That is one of the more exciting things about these two. I think that is why they are such a fun dynamic. It's what made their first match. I think that's what's going to help make this, because as good as that match was in the other company, I think when you come out to Delaware, when you have Tournament of Death vibes flowing through the air, I think this is going to be potentially a show stealer. But at the end of the day, I'm not just here trying to hype the match because I'm so excited about this tournament. I'm here to predict a winner. And that winner is going to be Big Effin' Joe. I think, Judge Joe Dred, he's still newer to the scene, and you got to pay them dues, my man. And I think this being Joe's 3rd Tournament of Death, he's paid them dues. He's won deathmatch tournaments around the world. Hell, he made it to the semifinals last year where he lost to Bobby Beverly, who went on to win the tournament. So I think Big Effin' Joe gets a big effing win here in round number 1 over Judge Joe Dred. On to that last match in the first round, and dear Lord, what a match we have. Now, if you only watch CZW, if you've only watched CZW deathmatch wrestling over the years and you only come back for a Tournament of Deaths, you're probably not familiar with Eric Ryan. He had a run in CZW years ago, but really didn't get deep into the deathmatch scene. In fact, this is his first Tournament of Death ever. But for you outside of the CZW bubble, you know that he calls himself the king of the death matches, 2-time back-to-back IWA Mid-South king of the death matches winner. Going up against, oh man, I feel like I have to say it here again though, XPW's king of the death match winner last year. And the current XPW king of the death matches champion currently right now, SHLAK. So you got 2 kings in one match. This is going to be big stuff. Don't let the death matches fool you. I would not be surprised if this match starts out with a little bit of mat wrestling. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. It might happen. It might. These guys have a lot of experience together. 15 matches total they've been in the ring together. One time they were on the same team, But 14 others, they faced each other. That's a lot of times. That is a lot. And guess what? Just take a wild guess right now. What do you think the record is for both of these two? So 12 wins for SHLAK. 12 of 14 matches against each other, SHLAK has won. Eric Ryan has won 2. Eric Ryan has won 2 matches against SHLAK in his career. And out of all of those matches, they have fought each other one-on-one 6 times. SHLAK has won 5 of the 6 one-on-one appearances that they've had against each other, where Eric Ryan has only won once, which was big. It was King of the Death Matches 2020. He won the finals against SHLAK. They made it to the finals there. So these guys have a lot of experience together, a lot of deathmatch experience, a lot of tournament experience, and they're facing each other in round number 1. This is huge. So when it comes to picking a winner, though, it gets pretty tricky. As much as you see how slated this has been one way or the other, that stuff hasn't happened in CZW. CZW is its own animal. So let's look at it. Eric Ryan, this is going to be his first tournament of death ever. This is going to be SHLAK's 4th tournament of death, one of the most experienced in the field this year. In those other 3 tournaments, he has been eliminated in the first round every time. He's 0-3 in TOD history. So as dominating as he has not been dominating at all inside Combat Zone Wrestling's Tournament of Death. What does that mean? That makes this so much harder to predict. That's what that means. As cool as I think it would be if maybe, Eric Ryan won, Bobby Beverly won, we had 440 guys face each other, which they've done in the past in other companies a lot of times. I don't think we're going to get that. I'm going to go with the overall history here. I think SHLAK is going to get another win here over Eric Ryan, almost said Bobby Beverly, over Eric Ryan, and move on to round number 2. And Eric Ryan is fucking good. So I don't know what world we've been living in where SHLAK has been that dominant. So I have no doubt they're going to face each other more in the future. And I think that record's going to go a little more even because Eric Ryan's going to get some more wins over SHLAK. But I don't think it happens here at TOD. So now we're on to round number 2. Things get very tricky here. I have to predict what matches are going to happen because I could be completely wrong on who faces who in the second round. I think I was wrong last year. If my first round predictions are right, that means we could potentially have a Joe versus Bobby Beverly rematch from last year. I don't think we're going to do that. I don't think that's going to happen. So that makes it a little bit easier for me to try to predict this second round. That is saying that I got the first round matches right, which who knows. So for the first match in round number 2, I'm going to predict Big F and Joe takes on Orin Veidt for the first time ever. According to my research, I have not seen that they have ever faced each other. And when looking at both guys, I've talked about them both a decent amount already. Big F and Joe has that history. I actually picked him to win the whole tournament last year. Got that wrong, obviously, but I think he has enough to get past the second round this time around. As much as I want my biased opinion of Orin Veidt, one of my favorites, to get out of that second round, I don't think it's going to happen. I do think he will beat Kid Bandit, but I do not think he will win a second round match. Assuming it's against Joe, I think Big F and Joe will get the win over Orin Veidt in round number 2. That means I'm predicting Big F and Joe to make it to the finals. For real this time, I think it is going to happen. I think he does have a very good opportunity to do it this year. That leaves Bobby Beverly and SHLAK. Man, we got such good matchups here, round number 2. These guys have fought each other before as well. A lot of those have been tag matches. They have only fought each other in one-on-one match, though. That was back at a long time ago. It was like one of the early ICW shows, ICW No Holds Barred shows, where guess what? SHLAK won. Surprise, surprise. I feel like SHLAK has been dominant pretty much everywhere except CZW. So who knows? Maybe that'll turn around here. I think it will. I think last year's winner, Bobby Beverly, does not make it to the finals this year. Big upset. Well, I don't know if it's an upset, like I said, because SHLAK's so dominant everywhere else. But I think it's an upset if last year's winner, who's back, does not make it to the finals. So I do think SHLAK gets a win here, moving on to the final round. I'm just dream booking right now at this point. We got SHLAK versus Big F and Joe in the finals of Tournament of Death 20. On one hand, you got SHLAK, who has more TOD experience than everybody else in the tournament. And you got Big F and Joe, who's one of the newer guys in the deathmatch scene over the past couple of years. He's been tearing it up. When you look back at the history, SHLAK and Big F and Joe have fought each other twice. Both of them one-on-one matches. Guess the record. 1-1 apiece. This would be a rubber match. Guys, we are building that excitement up. This would be a rubber match between these two. If it happens, if this is all me predicting here, if it happens in the finals of TOD 20, we got Big F and Joe, we got SHLAK. My brain is telling me go with SHLAK. He's been so dominant all around the indie scene. He's carried a belt for almost 2 years now, it seems like. It's well over a year. I don't know if it's quite almost 2, but he's carried a top deathmatch title for a very long time. He's almost unbeatable. In the other tournaments he's been in, RPW's tournament that just happened last month, he did get eliminated in the first round, but he wasn't pinned or submitted. Judge Joe Dred got involved. Wow, I'm thinking about this like, I don't know how I haven't thought about this yet. This is just connecting with me right now. Yeah, Big F and Joe cost SHLAK the tournament, his first round tournament match against Joel Bateman at Ruthless Pro Wrestling's King of the Kill tournament. Java Radio sponsored that tournament. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. IWTV, little shout out and plug to them. Very good tournament, very good debut for them. But yeah, we got the wild card here with the interpromotional war between Big F and Joe, sorry, not Big F and Joe, sorry, SHLAK and Judge Joe Dred. Would it make it to the finals though? You know what? I think that would, I'm just fantasy booking at this point. I just need to stop, give you guys a prediction. I know you're tired of hearing me just fantasy book deathmatch wrestling. So who knows? I think Judge Joe Dred may get involved at some point in this tournament. If not face SHLAK, who knows, he could in the round number 2 if he gets there. But I think SHLAK is going to lose in the finals in my predictions right here. Maybe Judge Joe Dred gets involved, maybe not. I think that would spice some stuff up a bit. I don't know how, involved CZW wants to get with that kind of stuff. It's other promotions, titles, and storylines, but it could be fun for the fans because a lot of the fans coming to the show, they watch all this stuff, just like me. They're just not crazy enough to be talking about it at 2:30 in the morning as I'm recording this right now. Yeah, I'm weird, man. I'm weird. But with all that rambling, I just said it. I am predicting for the second year in a row in my predictions, I think Big F and Joe gets the Tournament of Death win. He gets the trophy. He gets the big 2-0. This is a milestone tournament. Anytime you hit, the big 5, 10, 15. Now we're at 20 here. Huge moment for him. I think this is going to help skyrocket him if he gets that win. He's already a big name in the deathmatch scene. So no surprise here if he does get the win. Those are my predictions though. I may have been completely wrong. This is 20 years of season, 20 plus years, just 20 Tournament of Deaths. 20 plus years of deathmatch wrestling, Combat Zone Wrestling, one of the biggest deathmatch companies ever at one point in time, Combat Zone Wrestling. This is they're trying to get back into that deathmatch ultraviolet world. There's been a couple of hiccups along the way, unfortunately, but they're trying to do what they can here, people. But if you stumble across this video and somehow you made it all the way to this end, first of all, thank you. Second of all, let me know down below. Who do you think's going to win? I also want to hear some of your favorite Tournament of Death moments. Was it, I mentioned it earlier, the Nick Mondo, the salt driver off the top of the U-Haul truck. And of course, the biggest bump of like all time, Mondo and Zande coming down from the top of the second floor roof there. A lot of craziness has happened at Tournament of Death. A whole lot. We're talking John Moxley getting the saw blade. I'm not going to go in everything. There's been a lot that's happened. 20 effing years, baby. And if you're new to this CZW, this whole deathmatch wrestling stuff, if you followed me on this journey, because this channel wasn't always about deathmatch wrestling, believe it or not. I wish it was. I should have done that, but I didn't. But either way, if you're new to this and you want to watch this show, which I think you're going to need to watch, you're going to need to check out. This is going to be a big one. Like I said, milestone tournament. Go to Premier Streaming Network. That's where you're going to watch it. It's not going to be live, but it's going to be out soon right afterwards. It takes place on September 23rd, so look forward to hit on the streaming platform a couple days after, hopefully. Here's my plea to CZW if you're out there. I'm a weird collector guy. You probably see my Resident Evil and League of Legends stuff in the background behind me. I have all of the CZW Tournament of Deaths on DVD. I have so much going on. How about you give us some physical copies for TOD this year, huh? Maybe that's just me. Maybe nobody cares about physical stuff anymore. I don't know. I'm a collector. I'm a deathmatch fan. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed Tournament of Death. We will be sponsoring Tournament of Death this year, so we're going to be tweeting about it. We're going to be talking about it. And that's why I did this prediction video, because I love Tournament of Death. I love Combat Zone Wrestling. I love deathmatch wrestling in general. I don't want you to be a dick. I don't want you to be a pirate. I want you to pay the people that do what we all love. That's independent wrestling. Support it, people. All right, I'm getting out of here. I hope you enjoyed. Check out the channel. We have all kinds of other stuff here on YouTube. Jobber Radio. We'll see you guys on the next video.